Today we're going to be traveling again in the kitchen. A couple weeks ago when I was making my Japanese inspired egg salad sandwich, I also had another sandwich on my mind. And since I'm not very good at juggling more than one thing, I thought that I'll just concentrate on the egg salad sandwich. It was right here in front of me. It's delicious. But now my mind has shifted to the other sandwich, which has been occupying my thoughts a lot lately, and that is the katsu sandwich. Specifically, I'm making tonkatsu today, which is pork. I have seen this sandwich done with chicken as well as wagyu. I've also seen this done with tofu. I really want to see what the hype is about. And since I can't be in Japan to get a real one, I might as well try to make it here in my kitchen. Of course, I still don't have access to that important milk bread, so I will be using white bread. I do have katsu sauce that I did find, which I'm very excited about. But if you don't have access to any, or you just don't want to go out and buy it just for this one sandwich, I believe you can mix together ketchup, oyster sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of sugar, and it should taste very similar. So it's kind of like a Japanese schnitzel in a sandwich. Does that paint a better picture? It seems very simple, it looks very simple, it looks delicious, and I have to have it. So let's get started. I've got my breading station ready. This is just all-purpose flour, an egg that's been beaten, and I have some panko breadcrumbs over here, which are Japanese breadcrumbs, and I've got my pork. I want to make these a little thinner. They're already pretty thin, but I want to make them a little thinner, and I also want to tenderize them a little bit. I don't have one of those meat tenderizers or like a mallet. I'm just using a fork and kind of going ham on it. Ah, get it? Ham? Yeah. And after I'm done with this, I'm just gonna take a rolling pin to them and beat them a little bit. Got my little pieces of pork right here under some plastic wrap so it doesn't spray pork juice all over the place. And I'm just going to give them a light beating. I always mess this up. I really want to keep a dry hand and a wet hand. Oh, I think I already messed it up. This hand should be wet. Whatever. Get this coated in the flour, into the egg, into the panko. Really want to load this on there. So press it in. While I'm breading this, I do have a skillet on the stove just kind of heating up. I've got enough oil in there to kind of coat the bottom. I don't want to deep fry these, but it will be like a shallow fry. I've got a small bowl here with just some really cold water. I'm just using some green cabbage, and I'm definitely not using all of this, so I'm just gonna cut off a little chunk. And I am going to try to get this as thin as possible. I've got my little cabbage shreds here. I'm just gonna separate them a little bit. I'm gonna plunk them into the water. This kind of just helps them crisp up a little more. And that's what I want, some crispy, crispy cabbage. That's gonna hang out. Now we can go over to the stove. Oil has been preheating, so now I'm going to gently drop them in. And you wanna hear that sizzle? You see that sizzle. You wanna cook these until they are nice and brown on each side. Since these are so thin, you can see right there, these will probably be 3-4 minutes on the side, if that. You want them nice and crunchy. I think it is time for a flip. Nice and golden. Now that the tonkatsu is out of the pan, I am letting it drain on some paper towel, and I'm kind of just letting it hang out over there for now. I don't want it steaming hot going into these sandwiches, so we're gonna let it come to room temperature a bit. Over here, I've got my now drained and dried off cabbage. I've got my bread, the tonkatsu sauce, also got some kewpie mayonnaise. I want to cut off these crusts, and I think it looks more authentic if you cut the crusts off. These shall go to the birds. Now to start assembling our sandwiches. Got the bread. I actually did a lot of research trying to figure out what's the right thing to do here. I saw on many of the recipes that I was watching that they put a very thin layer of butter. This actually, I guess, protects the sandwich and the bread from becoming too soggy with the sauces. So it keeps the bread not as affected by its components, which makes sense. I have some Dijon mustard, just to give it that mustard flavor. The kewpie. And on this side, I'm going to plop my cabbage on here. This side, I'm gonna put a little bit of that bulldog sauce. I also put some of this on top of that tonkatsu. I want this flavor all over the place. Got my crunchy cutlet. I put the sauce side up so both sides are getting it now. Oh my gosh, it fits perfectly. Now, oh shoot, how am I gonna do this? Gonna put this side, and that's, and that is that. So, I'll let that hang out for a few minutes. All right, I can't wait anymore. Nicely pressed. I feel like they're usually always cut into threes, so I'm gonna try that. You want a good sharp knife. Just like that. It's a little tonkatsu sandwich. How exciting. I usually stand them up like this. Ooh, that looks so good. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so proud. Look at that. Got our own little tonkatsu platter. Now all that's left to do is eat it. And you know I can do that. I am very excited about this. Take the first bite. Mmm. I enjoy this. Ooh. Mmm. Just so many different textures going on. The bread is soft, but the cabbage is really crunchy, and the crunch on that tonkatsu is still there from the panko, and that sauce is like tangy but rich. Mm. Mm-hmm. We were transported right to the streets of Japan. So until I can get to the streets of Japan, I'm gonna have to chill in the streets of my kitchen. You should try this. It's a fun thing to do. Very uniform, very delicious looking, and they're really tasty. So you should make some. Enjoy!